Hi guys, it's me. I haven't made videos for a little while because of school and all that baloney, but I'm on today, so fun. But anyway, we're back with UHS, aka Eastern Private Hockey, and what's going on is they have a sweet dance, and you're going to have a lot of drama to consume in the pit today. Well, here's what happens. Willow, Matthew, and Styria, they just dance. And surprisingly, there's couples there, but none of us give a crap about them. But anyway, what happened is Matthew was supposed to her about Jake and how he's taking with Audrey and with when they're supposedly not friends anymore, but in his point of view, but they're still friends. But she gets pissed off, and apparently Willow was like, "You could have asked someone to go to the dance with you," and she's like, "What's even the purpose?" I wouldn't even blame her because I really don't. Even though I like a guy, but I didn't ask him. But you know, it's just weird. So she's what is Willow just? So Wisteria just goes off on her own, and here's what's going on now. Now what's going on? You're probably asking. Just quit going through the past and tell us what's going on now. Well, I'm about to do that. So Matthew just walks away so he doesn't piss her off more than she already did. Matthew walks away thinking, okay. And Willow's like thinks it's kind of harsh that he said that, but she really doesn't say anything because she already doesn't want to be involved as much as she already is. But and like he went to a table, Willow followed him ultimately, and he asked her why she easily got pissed like that. Well, and Willow's like, she just tends to overreact and all that. It's weird. But, so, Matthew just watched Willow and he just smirked back. Well, she used to learn not to take things so seriously, in his basic opinion. But Willow nodded, blushing as she hit it from him, because she didn't want him to see it. She was only blushing because of him being there. So she wasn't pissed, but she wasn't upset either. So it was even obvious on the expression. But even though Wisteria on the main hand bumps into Daniel and Demetra, and well, mostly Daniel, she lands on her ass, and ultimately, and he asked her if she's okay, and she's like, I'm fine. My ass hurts, but who gives a shit? You know, it's like. As soon as she walks off, not meaning to face anybody, and Demetra just watches this whole thing. And she really didn't know how to explain this because she was like, confused. So, Daniel decides to tease her, tell her to get someone to kiss her ass, and he just did it to get on her nerves, but he smiled and just walked after her to like torment her. And trust me, you wouldn't want to torment Wisteria. She is like, bam, right on your ass after a while. So she turns to face him and tells him to just leave me alone. Like, she didn't trust him at all. So she like, and then Demetra's just like face palming us too. She's like, she's more mature than they are. But so she just walks away, trying to get Daniel off the track. And Willow was quiet, still quiet, until she saw Jacob. She suddenly grabbed Matthew's hand and was like obviously shaken, and her hand fidgeted and like shook. She was like so scared, and it was really obvious by her expression. It was just so easy to tell she was like really fearful. Now Matthew didn't really know what was going on, and he just noticed Jacob looking at Willow. He was like so confused because he didn't get what was going on. But and Jacob's like, oh, great, shake and creak, you know. But But, but Daniel then goes following Wisteria and asks where she's going. And he wasn't going to leave her alone, ultimately. So then Willow shook her head, launching not only that, but holding onto the gone. And she was like shaking like completely. And it's like, and there was like so many women between her mind and like having them shadow with them what she saw in her head. And she like cringed and kneeled. And she just held the mask down, feeling more tears roll down her face. And she's like looking down as to hide the fact she was crying. Because she was freaking out. And it's like, she's like freaking her ass off. Like it's like, and this year, like, he's just looking at Daniel like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Leave me alone. And then Daniel's like, you're alright. And he looks around and notices Tracy was here too. And he shook his head. Well, Tracy's the outcast, but she's just taking herself to court. But why is everyone here? So then, so you'll be surprised at the next part. Oh, so Wisteria just looked at him and just looking away at the floor because she didn't really have a comeback. But Willow just still shook, even feeling more tears going on her face. She just wanted to run out of that gym because she was like freaking out. But Tracy just looks at Wisteria and Daniel, not really giving crap, because she just resumed staying in her corner. But this is going to be the most like freaking crazy thing that's going to probably happen. Okay, so Daniel's like, well, this isn't part yet, but Daniel's like, I thought so. If you wanted to be alone, you should have come to the damn dance. He didn't know why he cared, but a lot of these girls didn't want to be alone. But, you know. Now, here's the surprising part. Matthew watched these out as Willow cried. He slowly got up. I'm done with you then if you have so many memories of him. Why don't you just let him go? And he yells at her completely. And she's like cringing up. And she's like, she said nothing because she's afraid he might do something now. And she's like, I don't like him. I told you that. Why are you hating me? She's like freaking out. And she's like looking at him, getting up and wanting to just run. So she already hated her completely. And she wanted Wisteria there by her. Because she wanted her sister to defend her. She was so scared and upset, she didn't know what to do. I mean, her sister's usually there for her to help her. Because she's so dependent on her sister because of her past, but... So on Wisteria's side, only to know with this little Matthew incident, so he seemed angry while she seemed upset. So she's like, oh god, here we go again. So she ran over to him, and she's like, what is going on? And she's like, looking at him. And Matthew's looking at her like, I don't hate you, that's your problem. You think everybody hates you. You're just an attention seeker and selfish. Can't you let the memories go and stop being selfish? And other people are life remember. He was pretty much calm now. And he looked at Wisteria and then back at Willow. He didn't necessarily blame Wisteria, probably not she wanted to test. But and Willow's like, I'm not being that way. And she's like so upset. And he's like, I never meant to hurt you. I am though. I have always been. And she's like trying to say stuff, and she's crying. And Willow's just Wisteria just looks at her. She's still like eyes trembling. She just like this. She knew the girl had trouble controlling her problems, but she kept quiet while she had to intervene. But she was like a little bit afraid to get involved because she didn't know so she didn't know what to do. Then Matthew stared at her. He was now pretty much quiet. He just glanced over at Wisteria. He wondered why she was inside of him. So, from his assumption, but even Wisteria's trying not to get involved in this more. But maybe that's just twins. I don't know. I guess they have that same sky or something. But So Willow's like shaking. She looked down. She got up slowly, ran into the bathroom. As it wasn't that far, she just shut the door behind her. And she sat in the corner near the door. She felt so guilty and upset. She felt she couldn't deal with it. And now he just shook his head, attention seeker, of course, in his thoughts, and he shook his head and thought. He sat down at the table, looking around as if nothing happened. And so, lots of drama. It's spicy, but it's gonna get even more spicy soon. But Willow soon came out of the bathroom after a little while. She was crying a little, but she was out in the mattress, staying quiet and crying, and remembering the incident when her mattress came back to life, and she held her hands to her eyes. As he slowly got up and went to sit at the table, Willow's little crying had his head aching. He sat and shook his head because so Willow got up, going after him, not crying now, but she was shaking, indicating she felt terrible. And she's like, please don't leave me. And she's like cringing. And Matthews just told her to not follow him and cause a scene. He just continued walking into the boys' bathroom. But, so, there were many thoughts running through his head. Because he's like, what should I do? Should I stay out? Go out with her or should I dump her? Because knowing how she should get, but she was afraid. She was just standing. Willow was just standing there, and she's like afraid. She didn't know what was gonna happen. But so Matthew goes into the bathroom, and he just like stood in front of the sink and in the glass mirror, trying to think. But like, trying to think of what to do. But like, I mean, usually boys would keep their head on straight like that guy. But you know, just really hard. Stan was just dancing with Dimitri, trying to get over this. He felt a little jealous feeling over him. He just placed his mouth and didn't mess with her. So, so now, Willow is just standing by the door that lead out of the gym, right? So she wants to stay to herself thinking. She couldn't think of anything. Trying to forget all what happened. And she's like, no, don't stay saying Willow right, because her multiple personality said something would happen. And she found out Lilith had showed her before during the election was pretty much true. And she's like, stop thinking that way. And she's like shouting herself in her head, and she's like holding her head softly, trying to keep herself calm. She's like freaking out. And it's like, reminds me of one girl in my social studies class who freaks out all the time during a test or something. It's like, wait, just chill the fuck out. But no offense to people who had hard freak out during tests. It's just that girl is crazy. Hell, one of her friends called her a wombat, and I tried telling her it was cute, and she didn't believe me. And I'm like, how about a hamster? And she's like, thanks a lot, trying to help out. Like, sarcasm. And I'm like, thank you. I'm glad you take that seriously. But if they called me a wombat, I wouldn't really give a shit. I mean, it's like, so, at least I'm cuter than you. So, but Wisteria watched her sister because she was like scared and like she's like wondering. Now when Matthew comes out of the bathroom, he's like around the dance and he walked over to the stage and leaned against it and he's just beside himself. And he's thinking maybe he saw why Jacob broke up with her in the first place. So now Wisteria wanted to help her sister. This is where it's going to get spicy, just so you all know. But she had to open her mouth because she wanted to get this with Willow and him straight. So then she would have to deal with her sister whining and not having to kick the guy in the balls like she did Jacob. But she tells him that Willow never meant to hurt them. And She only tries to at least be happy because she doesn't want to be upset anybody. So, but she can't because her confidence, self-confidence is like so low. She almost starts shutting herself out from everybody, and nobody knows her but Wisteria. And she said, I wouldn't say this is a lie. Her face was sincere. She knew her sister for 15.5 years, and she knew her sister's every action. She didn't remember when they were children. She always comforted them. But I mean, Bill just noticed Wisteria walking away and headed over the mountain. She was trying to wonder what Trina was getting into. Let's just put Trina for her. That was the main concern of Wisteria, her getting hurt. But Matthew just watches Wisteria approach him, and she's like, she doesn't have to go crazy over it, like the time at the beach when she had a knife. I think he's much cooler and less crazy twin. He's a general. Looking at her now. He had surprising that along until it found the common logic in her in the past. But, and her sister, and then Mysteria's like trying to convince him here. And she's like, she really can't control certain emotions at times. It's not really her fault because she never intends to hurt anybody. It just happens with her, and she can't keep it held back because her force is like so low. It's like kind of like cling wrap if you put too much stuff in it, like, you know. But she had blushed a bit from the comment, but she didn't really have other intentions. Like, it's like spicy and the spiciness. I love it. I love that part. I love it.